from Great Britain is in 8th position and having a good start. We'll be catching up with Elisa later in our programme. Let's get straight into the second rotation. And the competition now starts to take shape. But so far so good, Monica. Before we join the action of the second rotation, no big mistakes yet. There doesn't seem to be too much pressure as yet.
Well, a lot of these are very seasoned performers. Remember, you've got Korkina, who's 21. You know, they're not kids. They're really seasoned. Even the 16-year-olds here are seasoned performers. But I think as the pressure increases, and it's become very political now because the Romanians lost the team event yesterday, I know for a fact that Octavian Belu was really, really disappointed having lost both team championships, juniors and seniors. The nerves are bound to have transmitted from Belu to the girls, and they will feel much more under pressure. So I think we might see some cracking. Raducan, unfortunately, not meeting particularly high tariffs in her vault, landing a little bit low with the shoulders. The gymnasts have to perform 2 vaults from both different. This is from the Yurchenko section, half twist on and handspring, 1.5 off. But see, she had a tremendous side cast. But you can't be good at everything, but to be a European champion, you have to be. Unfortunately, Raducan, a little bit of a weakness on vault. Second vault to come, and the 2 vaults are averaged. So really, this does test the versatility of the gymnast. Incredibly, as if doing 4 pieces of apparatus wasn't enough. Once again, the slow motion of the first vault. They're seeing the jump forward and the lowness of the shoulders. Focus now for the second. From a different group. That was the same exit. It was still a 1.5 somersaults in a pike position with a half twist. But the entry was by a handspring rather than by the round off, and the flick-flack with the half-turn onto the top of the horse.
She seemed a little happier with the first and the second. Both those scores will get it together an average to give the score for the calculation into the competition itself. And Raducan, as Monica has pointed out, feeling quite a bit of pressure after Romania were taken or deposed from top position in the team competition yesterday.
But of course, down on tariff, because the big guns will be producing 2 10-tariff vaults, and Raducan really under-tariffed on her vaulting.
Olga Rashkupina for the Ukraine, Mexico, 9.750. We get the score here for Andrea Raducan. Rashkupina got off to a fantastic start on the beam, you may remember. She now has her second apparatus of the evening, her floor exercise.
At the moment, incredibly intense and incredibly focused. But once she gets a bit of a reputation and relaxes a little, then her name will be up in lights. Slight hesitancy there after the double spin. 1.5 twist, flick, punch front from 1.5 twist in the pike shape. That's a mixed series. That's a straddle jump into a fly spring into a W jump, where skills from the gymnastic section, which is the dance, and the acrobatic section have to be linked. Handspring, fly spring, double twisting, front punch, front somersault. And that the 3 jumps. And a nice series there with the double back piked. Really technically wonderful work, but just lacking a little bit of charisma. And when you're competing against people such as Corkina, you really have to have a little more personality to demonstrate your skill.
You pointed out yourself that the personality using your advantages, the long levers of Corkina, and Rashkopina just possibly showing a little lack of experience. Certainly doesn't have the confidence that Corkina demonstrated, where she literally woos the judges by staring them in the eyes just about through every tumble, twist and turn. Now this is the current leader, albeit still only in the second rotation, Victoria Karpenko on the beam.
Well, I doubt very much, unless everybody else makes a mistake, whether or not she will be European champion in the year 2000. That huge wobble, 3/10. In the Grand Prix events, on 2 occasions she's fallen off on the mount onto her routine. But this is where the focus of these gymnasts is so incredible, because they can just brush off the error and carry on as if nothing has happened. Or should I say, that is a skill in itself. And that sorts out the competitors and the winners from the losers. Front somersault, W jump. Yeah, she is a bit hesitant. Lost her sparkle and her confidence. Full spin that should have been a full was a 1 1/4. And very unfortunately, Victoria Karpenko had lost the middle of the routine, but that a really dynamic dismount. I mean, she uses the beam like a floor area, round off flick, double tuck, but she will be disgusted with herself.
We're at the European Championships. It is as close as that. A poor performance on the beam for the Ukrainian Karpenko, and the European title will not be hers for the taking after a superb start in the early stages. That is a 9.350. A problematic performance which began the very first mount, and Karpenko possibly out of the chase for gold. We're going to take a break from the action here at the European Artistic Gymnastic Championships, but a little treat for our British Eurosport fans, Lisa Mason after the messages.
Salut. Sports Centre, every day, throughout the day, on Eurosport.
Artistic Gymnastics European Championships.
France Telecom, official partner of the French national team.
Straight back into the action at the European Championships here in Paris. Elena Zamolodchikova with the first of her 2 vaults.
And very businesslike. I don't think she can ever stand still after a vault, but she's really got the art of turning to the judges very, very quickly, but I don't think they're very easily fooled.
Those fast twitch muscles again. She really is a busy bee, but not a bad vault either.
And she does the Sukahara entry, so it's 1 1/2 somersaults with 2 twists and a lot of wobbling around on the mat, which she very well disguised in the motion of the eye, but to slow motion of the camera it really did betray her.
Just to remind you, 2 vaults, the average score from the 2 will be the calculation that is added to the other 3 apparatus here this evening. If you've just joined us, we're at the European Championships at the Bercy Stadium. Early leader Victoria Karpenko has had a nightmare on the beam. The competition is once again wide open, with Corkina and Amanar still to come in this second rotation. And of course now the second vault for Elena Zamolodchikova.
And even there, landed just a trifle short. But the definition of speed is demonstrated so well by Elena. In and out of shapes, every muscle group just works. The control from the brain to the muscle is what it's all about, and she is so brilliant. There, the hand contact, and way out of view, the flick-flack entry. double twist off and 1.5 somersaults. 2 different vaults, and the average score comes up.
First in the fourth, I should say, in the team competition. That was the Spanish team. This is their top performer, Esther Moya. 9.587 for her first performance of the evening in the beam. She now goes on